NatChat. My name is BonnieHutt, and today our guest is StewartCoffee. Before the break, we were just talking about the connection between our planet, our food, and ourselves as people, how everything's interconnected. And Stewart, can you please just elaborate on that, and also just tell us a little bit about how you cured yourself from chronic fatigue syndrome?
Yeah, well, Bonnie, back in about 1985, I got quite ill. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and it was back before we ever heard the word chronic fatigue. So I was pretty lost for answers. It wasn't sort of something you could go to the doctors and say, hey, look, I'm not feeling too well, because it was pretty much every day. I just didn't have much energy, and you know, I'd get out of bed in the morning and I'd always be tired. It was a real drain to get out of bed.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yep. Even if I'd had sort of like 10 or 12 hours sleep, it was irrelevant. I never felt any different. And it was a real struggle just to bend down on the edge of my bed and put my boots on, you know. I actually lost my job because of it.
Yeah.
I was driving machinery at the time, and you know, I could feel okay 1 minute, but within seconds I could actually start falling asleep like I was slipping into a coma. And it was at random, and it was many times every day. And I really didn't know what the hell was going on, and neither did the boss. So yeah, I got the boot. But anyway, it was a good thing. Things happen for a reason. Then one night late on TV, I was watching a program, I'm talking back in the 80s, and it was called The Fountain of Youth. And Clint Eastwood was on there, and I was a bit of a fan of Clint Eastwood in those days, and he was speaking about, you know, how he and other Hollywood people, what they do to maintain, you know, the fountain of youth. And basically it all kept coming back to one thing, and that was you've got to purify your blood. And so I decided, right, there's something wrong with my blood. So I took some advice, and I just started out with very basic knowledge. And I went down to a health food shop, and I got a few products like a bottle of aloe vera juice and some apple cider vinegar, a few other bits and pieces. And the woman behind the counter said to me, "Oh, you're purifying your blood." And I said, "How did you know?" She said, "Well, I'm a naturopath. You've got all the right things." And she said, "Look," she looked into my eyes, and she understood iridology, and she said, "Oh, you got a bit of a sodium ring there, and your glandular system's a bit shut down. Look, I'm going to lend you some books to go away and read." Now, I never used to do much reading, but they came in really useful, and that was the beginning. And from there, I got amazing results. I threw out everything that was not needed that wasn't natural, and basically I got back to a lot more closely to living natural with my diet. It became a bit of a lifestyle.
So how did it make you feel, and
well,
what other results did you see?
What I did, even today with like 20 years more research, I probably couldn't have perfected what I kicked off with. You know, I obviously was guided to...
keeping it simple.
Yeah, and it was very powerful. 60% raw fruit and vegetable, which is the living food. And that's what you've got to get into your stomach. You've got to feed that garden.
Living food from good soil.
From good soil. Yeah, it was organically grown. It was more costly, but it was a lifestyle. So I basically eliminated refined foods, denatured foods, preservatives and additives, and spent a lot more time preparing my meals. And I used to fast for about a day and a half every week. And that was no worries at all, because I had, in a very short amount of time, 3 months, I completely transformed my life.
Did you drink a lot of water when you were fasting? Or
yeah, and juices.
Fruit juices that you made yourself?
Yeah, a lot of dark grape juice, which is good in antioxidants, and you needed it to wash down the aloe vera. But yeah, basically that served me very well. Okay.
And then just back to some of the things you found in the soil, what you were talking about previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the practices and what's going on there.
Yeah, well, what I found is the relationship between the soil, the direct relationship between what's actually happening in the soil is pretty much very similar to what's happening in our stomach. We have a living microsystem in our stomach, and also in the soil. Now, a lot of the bacteria or the beneficial microbes that we ingest them, which is why I sometimes wonder whether it's actually a part of designed into the DNA or the consciousness of a baby to naturally, with instinct, they want to put a lot of things in their mouth, like a handful of dirt. You know, it's probably one of the best things that perhaps a child could do if it's healthy, clean dirt, to become weaned, because they need to acquire the bacteria that they don't have when they're
young.
Yeah, when they're still breastfeeding. So that's a good starting point, is to, you know, inoculate yourself with a mouthful of dirt.
Because otherwise, of course, all the bad bacteria takes over.
Well, you've got the natural ratios of in the soil, 85% you know, beneficial bacteria varieties and 15% potentially pathogenic. But that's for healthy soil. So if the soil's not particularly healthy, the ratios can be sort of sometimes cranked around the other way. And the same with tests that they've done on some people with their intestinal flora that you know, live a busy lifestyle and not particularly a healthy diet. You can have ratios of pathogenic bacteria a lot higher than occurs naturally for an optimal health.
So what percentage of a disease and depression and that would you say, in your opinion, is connected to food? Well,
look, I'm not qualified to state that. However, I do have my own view, and I feel that many diseases are associated to pathogenic bacteria, which possibly may be able to be corrected through diet. And it's about getting the life force happening. And that's the beauty of nature. When nature is in harmony and we're living with nature, we can build our own immunity, you know, boost our immunity through diet.
So to feel alive and to be alive, you've got to eat alive foods.
That's
basically.
it, you know. Yeah, you know.
All right. Thank you very much, Stewart, for joining us today. It's been great having you here.
You're welcome, Bonnie.
You've been watching NatChat, and I'm Bonnie Hutt, and hope you enjoy your journey. Have a good one.